Good afternoon. I'm not sure I've already followed that, but there you go. Going to a museum is a problem for parents. Children quickly get bored and make a nuisance of themselves, running around disturbing other visitors. What's needed is something to keep them occupied, to let them learn about the things they're seeing, and perhaps even make the experience fun. Our group set out to design and create just such a device at the Fitzwilliam Museum in Cambridge. Our solution was essentially an interactive storyteller, designed to be run on a small touchscreen device, and so simple to use that even a small child can work it out in just a few seconds. After choosing a theme or story, the user is then taken to a map screen via a nice zooming animated transition to show what they've selected, or as the rest of my group call it, a ridiculous amount of bling. It's a little hard to demonstrate with the PDF slides, but the dotted line is actually animated and shows the path from the room they're in to the room they're going to, whereas the solid line shows where they've already come from. We also show a picture of the door they're meant to go through to get to each of the next rooms. The idea is that we create a complete reversal of roles. It's so easy that the children can lead their parents rather than the parents having to drag their kids around the museum. Therefore, the children feel in control and more engaged. Due to time constraints, we only had time to write one tour, which we based around the ancient Egyptian section. But more could easily be added later. A story involving a selection of objects from these rooms was written in collaboration with a history student from my college. It was scripted and then recorded with a number of actors. Whilst entirely fictitious, the history contained within it is actually quite accurate. For example, what the different items were used for, the roles of several gods, and even the main protagonist, King Tutmos III, was a real boy prince whose stepmother conveniently took the throne in true fairy tale fashion. So, what we then did is, the idea is, whilst they're just following the story, the kids will also be learning history. So the child has to search for a number of different objects in the room they're guided to. Finding them leads to another section of the story, which they can then play and listen to on headphones. After many sections, they have a choice as to where to go next, so they still feel in control and thus more engaged, and it gives them a little bit of a different tour depending on who's using it. So everyone has a slightly different experience. The content of the device is completely separate from the Java program that powers it. Each slide is an XML file which follows a scheme we devised. Images and audio are in the open source PNG and OGG-Vorbis formats, and the render engine supports transparency and transition effects between the different slides, and it's just makes the whole experience smooth and fluid, and really easy to create extra content to update the guide later. We didn't want the experience to end after they finished the tour, so we created a companion website for them to visit upon their return home. At the end of the tour, the user is given a URL that looks a bit like this. If you note the small hash at the end, the guide has actually been keeping track of where the user has gone, what they've seen, and then coded this information into the URL. This provides a neat way for the website to customize itself based upon their individual tour. The user will have to write down the URL anyway, so a few extra characters doesn't make a lot of sense. It neatly avoids the problems of trying to type in information on a small touch screen and the privacy issues that arise if you have children's login information. So the website decodes this hash and stores the information in a cookie available to all other pages on the site. We wanted to let the children be creative, so we created a very easy-to-use word processor built into the website so the kids can write about their trip. Images can easily be inserted, and this makes use of the hash, only showing objects that they saw. A large print button makes it easy for them to share. The other part of the website is a bit of fun. Whilst not teaching them all history, it does let them develop cognitive skills. For example, we have a scramble game where they just have to unscramble an image, and pairs, where they have to remember where the pairs are under the cards. Each of these is nicely animated for a compelling experience. And there are also some quizzes for them to test what they've learned. As you can see, the website's themed and to match the tour, and this could easily be made to update its themed based around the tour they took individually. So, in summary, we've created an entertaining guide and companion website for Fitzwilliam Museum targeted children. It's slick, educational, easy to use and fun. Thank you very much.